Get ready for fall with this video packed with Dollar Tree DIYs to kickstart your 2025 seasonal decor. Welcome to CJ DIY. I am C. Went to my local Dollar Tree. I picked up a bunch of items and now it's time to dupe the newest look from Mackenzie Childs. Those pumpkins are super heavy. I really like how they're made. First thing what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint black stripes between the ribs. These pumpkins are coming with 7 ribs on them and I'm gonna only paint 3.5 black stripes, if you call it like that. As you can see, because there is not 6, there is 7, we cannot equally add those black dividers, but not a problem. In the white fields, I'm gonna be adding these beautiful Mackenzie Child napkins that I picked up at their barn sale this summer, and now I'm just gonna decoupage those checkerboard prints in those white lines on my pumpkins. Super easy. With a matte finish Mod Podge, I'm just gonna add a tiny line of Mod Podge with my sponge brush. I'm laying it over, and now on top I'm gonna be adding the napkin to it. You can always add any kind of napkins or tissues as you prefer, or you can even paint those checkerboard prints. It's up to you. I know Hobby Lobby is selling similar napkins like this, and you can make a beautiful fall decor for this year. I know those checkerboards are super hot and trendy this year, and of course we're gonna need to make those. After I added the napkin, decoupage it to make it more smoother with no wrinkles and bubbles, I just added a parchment paper, and with my mini press I went over on it, and on top of it I seal it with the Mod Podge as well. Now to complete the look, I'm finishing up the white spots on my pumpkin, and I'm gonna repeat the same step on my second pumpkin as well. Super quick and easy. I really love to decoupage beautiful items, and it's not gonna break a bank. It's gonna be super budget friendly, and you're gonna have a high-end home decor. Now to finish the look on my pumpkin, I grabbed this golden marker from Dollar Tree and I'm painting the stem with that golden finish, and it's just perfect. If you don't have marker like this, you can always add a golden paint. It's up to you. And now when my 2 pumpkins are done, I grabbed those spikes from Temu. They're like $4 or $5 for hundreds of them. And now with my cement glue, I'm gonna be adding them on the black fields that I painted in my pumpkins. On my first pumpkin, I fill out the black spots with those golden spikes, and on my second pumpkin, I'm just gonna be creating one line on each black field with those spikes. And while you're watching me doing this, I want to show you my daughter's leather jacket. She also have shoes like this filled with spikes, and I love that style. And after a few minutes gluing all those beautiful spikes, this is how my beautiful Mackenzie Child inspired pumpkins came out. I found these checker print tabletops at Dollar Tree with the nomies. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep the checker borders. I'm only gonna paint the part where the nomies are with a white paint to cover it. After that, I'm gonna be adding this Mackenzie Child's napkins with pumpkin, and I wanna see which part I'm gonna be cutting before I decoupage it. For the first part, I'm cutting off the pumpkin. And then for my second sign, I'm gonna add the leftover to make it cohesive, not to look the same, but it's gonna be a perfect fit and match with my decor today. Very inexpensive and just whimsical and beautiful for our fall. I'm cutting off the edges. I removed the 3 other sheets that this napkin came with, and I'm gonna be adding a matte finish Mod Podge, and I'm gonna be decoupaging them. Super quick, easy, and simple. Now that I added my napkin, I smooth it out with the fingers and with my decoupage brayer. I'm also cutting off the edges with my cutting knife to make it more smoother and to look more original, like this sign came like this. And after that, I just added a parchment paper and with my mini press to make it more nice and smoother, and that's it. I'm repeating the same step on my second tabletop with my other print from this napkin, and we have a perfect, very inexpensive look for fall decor. Now that they're done, to seal them, again, I'm adding a matte finish Mod Podge. You can also add a semi-gloss Mod Podge. That just tastes. I really love that matte finish Mod Podge, how it looks after the finish touch. And also on top of my other tabletop, I wanted to add that Mackenzie Child logo. So I am decoupaging that part as well and then cutting off the excess from that napkin as well. Now to bring more Mackenzie Child shadows that design is coming with, I decided to add couple of color shadows between those checker border lines, and I'm just doing that with a golden marker, green marker, and orange paint. So I'm just going over, and then with the towel I'm just wiping it off and have a perfect shadow on the edges. I want to mimic that pumpkin on that tabletop that I did, so I grabbed one of my foam pumpkins from Dollar Tree and I'm gonna add a black stripes, and after it's nice and dry, I have some succulents also from Dollar Tree, some leaves, and we're gonna add all those pieces in the middle part of the pumpkin, and not even 5 minutes and you have a perfect new look for this pumpkin. I'm also adding a golden shadow just to mimic the authentic Mackenzie Child's print, and that's it for this quick and easy project. This beautiful autumn frost pumpkin, they're selling it on sale for $69. So you can recreate it with one of the velvet pumpkins from Dollar Tree and these golden flakes also from Dollar Tree. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a Mod Podge between those ribs on the pumpkins, and I'm gonna be adding these golden flakes from Dollar Tree with my fingers. Now that the rib spots are filled with the golden finish, I'm gonna be adding some accessory. I am adding this beautiful checkerboard ribbon that I also purchased from their barn sale. They're super pricey, but I bought it for like $24, and there is so much you can do with this beautiful ribbon. It's such a great quality. I am just making a simple 2-loop bow. I'm tying it in the middle with the twine, and then I'm cut off the edges as a ducktail, and then with that leftover fabric that I'm gonna cut off the edges, I'm gonna cover up the twine in the middle part where I tie my bow. And after I cover that part, I'm gonna tie this bow in the middle part of my pumpkin. I'm gonna be adding one of those small sunflowers fall picks from Dollar Tree and a pine cone, and that's it for this quick and easy and beautiful makeover. That I got in my stash, and I'm just gonna remove the front part of these yellow petals, and I'm gonna make them over with a quarterly check napkin. Before I decoupage them, I'm gonna give them just a one coat of a white paint, because when you decoupage something, you want the surface, the background surface, to be in a lighter color so the decoupage print can come out to detail. And I'm covering them simply just with that paint, then I'm letting them dry, and then I'm adding a Mod Podge on the petals. And to make it super easy, I'm gonna be adding the napkin on top of the Mod Podged petals. That's gonna be the easier way, and the napkin, it's not gonna rip apart. And smoothly I'm going over with the fingers because it's all wet from the Mod Podge, just like that. And I'm repeating the same step with my second petal flowers as well, and I'm gonna let them dry, and then I cut off the petals with my scissors. Super easy. It was super easy when they were all fully dry. And then after I cut it off, I'm gonna smooth them more out with the parchment paper and with my mini press, because I want everything to be just perfect, no wrinkles and bubble, to look like we bought it from a boutique, high-end. And to seal it, I'm also adding a Mod Podge on top of the napkin. And now I'm putting all pieces together, and we're gonna create a bouquet perfect for our fall decor as a centerpiece. Nothing wrong with that, right? You can always be creative and create any kind of flower petals as you like. I also decided to add to my bouquet those lighter sunflowers from Dollar Tree, and to make it perfect, I just ironed the petals as well because they were all wrinkled, and I put them all together as a one bouquet. I also gonna be using this perfect vase from Dollar Tree, from the Dollar Tree Plus section for $5, and I think it looks just perfect with adding this bouquet to it. But for the vase, I decided to add the ribbon, just one stripe of this beautiful checker ribbon, and I'm just gonna glue it on the edge. And you can make this vase with this ribbon, add this ribbon on the bottom or in the middle part, wherever you prefer, and you have a perfect unique look. Found a similar porcelain pumpkins at Dollar Tree, just perfect. And I grabbed my golden marker and a black marker, and simply not even 5 minutes, and you have a perfect Mackenzie Child inspired pumpkins with only creating dots around those pumpkins. First, you started with a golden marker, creating all those dots. Then in between those golden dots, you're gonna create patterns with a black marker, creating dots. And also you're gonna paint the stem with a gold finish as well. You can always use a golden paint, but I think this permanent golden marker is just quick and easy and beautiful finish. And that's it. You're gonna leave them on the side to dry for a couple of hours, and I repeated the same step on my orange pumpkin, and that's it. I really love those arch mirrors from Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna flip them over and I'm gonna remove the back part, and I want to work with the back part of those mirrors as well. For those of you who are watching my channel, you know that I made amazing creations with these arch mirrors. I had another one inspired Mackenzie Child decor. I'm gonna try to leave that link in my description box. If you haven't checked out my other Mackenzie Child inspired video, you gotta check it out. That one is with a blue checkerboard print. And for this mirror, I'm gonna be using these beautiful pumpkins from Mackenzie Childs, and I'm just gonna add it on the back part of the mirror. I want to see which part I'm gonna cut off before I decoupage it, and I'm using the same step like I used for my other projects today: matte finish, Mod Podge, and then with my mini press to smooth out and make it like it was originally. And to cut off the excess, I'm just using the scissors, and that's it. Simple, beautiful, and gorgeous. I didn't want to do anything else with those looks. I leave the frame black, but you can always paint that frame in a golden finish. But I think leaving it black, it's just a perfect detail to this look. Another perfect Mackenzie Child inspired pumpkin can be made with these large foam pumpkins from Dollar Tree, and it's a perfect item that you don't even need to paint that white because it's in a white finish, and you can just add those napkins and decoupage it. You can make it in a couple of ways, decoupage it. If it's hard for you to put it in one piece like I'm gonna do, you can just cut off this napkin in a bunch of pieces and just adding the Mod Podge around the ribs and just smoothing them out with the Mod Podge, and it's gonna work just perfect. But for me, work like this perfect. So what I did is I grabbed the middle part of the napkin as you watching me, and smoothly I'm going over with my fingers. Make sure there is no wrinkles and bubbles, because this pumpkin we cannot add the mini press because it's made out of the foam. And now slowly I'm gonna do the rest of the ribs with the rest of the pumpkin, and I'm gonna smooth them out. And that's how this leftover napkin is gonna be on the bottom part on my pumpkin, where it's not gonna be visible. I'm gonna cut off the excess, and I'm going over with a Mod Podge, general amount of Mod Podge, and I'm just gonna layer off all those edges of this napkin just like so, and it's gonna work smoothly and just perfect, and it's gonna look, this pumpkin is originally made like this. Now that my whole pumpkin is covered, I'm gonna seal it with a matte finish Mod Podge. I'm also using one of those stems from my other pumpkin that previously I did, so this was just a perfect addition. I added the stem in the middle, and voila, you have a beautiful look for our vignette. For my next project, I am going to be using one of those golden chargers from Dollar Tree. I am using these beautiful checker printed pumpkins that I purchased from Temu for a couple of dollars. On the back part, I'm just adding cement glue and I'm gluing it in the middle part of my charger plate, and I love that background with the charger plate and with this beautiful fall print with the pumpkin. It just went perfect. Now I'm gonna be creating 4 loop bows, 2 loops with the checkerboard from Mackenzie Childs and 2 loops from this beautiful Harley Quinn checker print from Dollar Tree. I really love this orange print, and it's gonna be super cute and cohesive together with my decor today and with my sign. I just love how everything came out. So I just use my bow maker because it's easier to hold off those different ribbons together, and I'm just creating loops. I didn't want it to add more loops to it because that beautiful pumpkin sign is just enough. So just a little detail with adding the 4 loop 2-tone colors. I'm just cutting off the edges, cutting off the edges as a ducktail, tying them with the twine, covering the twine with the leftover on my ribbon, and I'm gonna glue it in the middle part of my sign. And that's it for this one. Super quick and easy, but very unique and beautiful. I created another sign with a golden finish charger plate and another pumpkin sign from Temu. I'm just gluing it on the back with the same cement glue, and I'm repeating the same step like I did with my other sign, and we have a perfect match. This time we have golden, and then I'm gonna create the same step with the bows, but I'm gonna use a different pattern, and a perfect look for this year fall decor. I grabbed 4 of those golden coasters from Dollar Tree. I painted the middle part, mirror part, with the white paint, and I'm gonna decoupage them with the same napkin that I've been using from Mackenzie Childs, and we have a perfect cohesive coasters for our dining room table. Have you started decorating for fall yet? If not, I hope I'm giving you a lots of inspiration for you to create amazing, super hot, trendy, very high-end look, very, very low on a budget. Now that I decoupage the middle part of these coasters, I'm just cutting off the edges to this napkin, and simple, I'm just smoothing it out, my usual decoupage process. And I'm gonna repeat the same step on my other 3 coasters, and voila, you have amazing look. Those beautiful stripe Pumpkins are super trendy this year, and Dollar Tree is selling those pumpkins, but I couldn't find them anywhere at my Dollar Tree stores. So my friend Jackie from Crafting in Mimi's World sent me those pumpkins, and I'm really grateful. Thank you, Jackie, my friend. I really love you. And now, to give them a nice makeover, I just used my golden marker. I went around the edges and I added some golden shadows in between, and also for extra embellishment I created some fall leaves with this mold and my air dry clay, and I am painting them with a golden finish, and I will be adding those leaves into those pumpkins to make them more high-end. They're perfect as they are. You can leave them just as simple as their Dollar Tree selling them, but I wanted to add extra accessory and bring them closer to those Mackenzie Childs pumpkins look. Another amazing find at Dollar Tree are those fabric lantern pumpkins. I really love how they look, and it's gonna be super cohesive with my decor today. And what I did is I simply added one Harley Quinn bow on the black pumpkin and the checker print from Mackenzie's on my orange pumpkin, and that's it. You have a new look with these pumpkins. Another amazing look from Dollar Tree are those vintage golden mirrors. I love them, and they're perfect, screaming Mackenzie Child inspired. I just paint the middle part where the mirror is with a white paint, and I cut off a round shape of this napkin, and I'm decoupaging it, and that's it. I didn't do anything else. Maybe I could have made more golden leaves from my mold and add it in the middle, but I think it's enough because the rest of my decorations have too many little details to it. So I think just leaving them simple, it looks just perfect for my wall. I have those candle holders for ages, and I thought I'm gonna make them into Mackenzie Child's decorations with painting the middle part where all those crevices and rips are with the white paint, and that part will be covered with a checkerboard napkin. I just give it a one good coat with the paint, let it dry, and now with the Mod Podge I'm going over the crevices, and I cut off a portion of this napkin, and slowly I'm going over the edges, and then in between the handles I'm just gonna cut off a portion of the napkin and finishing the rest of the cover as well. And also to smooth it more out, I'm gonna be using a parchment paper and with my mini press, so make sure there is no wrinkles and bubbles, and it looks like this candle holder originally was made with this checkerboard print. Another amazing decor was this cornucopia that I have in my stash. What I did is I distressed it with a terracotta paint, and I added this checkerboard print Mackenzie Childs on the edges. I fill it out with those goodies, and guess what? This cornucopia at Mackenzie Childs goes for $399, and mine didn't cost me anything because I have all those decorations in my house already. For my next creation, I'm printing some fall leaves images that I purchased from Etsy for like $4. They were like 20 images. I can add the links from the seller that I got these images from. You're not gonna be disappointed. There is so many beautiful images, and I'm showing you all of them, how they look. I print them all out because I couldn't choose which one will be so cuter. I even like those pumpkins, but since I made a lot of pumpkins, I wanted to add some leaves to my decor as well. I found a beautiful frame from the dollar spot section, but look at this scary face. Ugh, I don't like it at all. So I'm just gonna flip it over. It came with some crazy noise and lights, so I just cut off the wires where the crazy noise was coming off. I left the lights on because you never know what I'm gonna do in the future with it. I'm gonna be adding these leaves in the back part of that scary print, but before that I wanted to add some golden finish to this frame, and with the distressing brush from Dollar Tree and this gold paint, acrylic gold paint, you gotta purchase this. This is such a beautiful finish, this gold paint, and I said it before and I'm saying it now, is just a perfect golden vintage look to distress your items. And what I did is simply I'm just a little bit distressing this frame and making it look vintage and beautiful, and removing that plastic black look that it came with. You can, after I'm done with the distressing, I'm going to show you the difference. I mean, you can leave the black look on the frame, nothing wrong with it, but with adding this gold finish, it giving such a better quality to it. Look how it looks. I love it. And this is the original look, and it's just your taste. So I added those leaves with just the school glue. I just glue it. I didn't decoupage it, and that's it. I'm gonna be working on this Dollar Tree book, and what I like about it, it was covered with orange color. Just perfect, so I don't need to add any paint. On the side of the book, I wanted to add some 3D effect, and then with this stencil, I will be covering those leaves garlands, and I'm just adding a tape on the side of this stencil because it was a little bit wider and trickier, but I just wanted to add some design, and I think with adding those leaves it's gonna be just perfect for fall decoration. So with the spatula I added some caulking also from Dollar Tree, and I'm covering all those leaves with it. You can also add those stickers from Dollar Tree and just glue them on the side of your book, or you can just create some design from your molds with the air dry clay and glue them on the side of the book. Either way, it's gonna work just perfect. So now that I cover the side with all those leaves, it doesn't look perfect, it's a little bit smushed, but when it get dry, you're gonna see all those leaves as a 3D effect, and that's what I was looking for. I'm gonna cover them with a random orange paint. It's not that cohesive with the cover of this book, but it's gonna do its job, and I'm gonna let it dry. And after it's dry, I am adding this is my favorite paint from Dollar Tree, this golden shimmer. I love it. It's perfect for distressing. So I'm just heavy distressing my leaves with this golden paint, and if you see this up close, it looks so beautiful with that golden shimmer and this orange. It looks like this book originally was made like that. Now for the front of this book, as you can see, those leaves from Dollar Tree works just perfect. You can add those leaves. And also, I decided to go with this mushroom fairy from last year Christmas IOD collection, and I'm gonna add this lady in the middle of the front cover of my book, and it's super cute. As you can see, you don't need to add those IOD transfer. You can add some leaves from Dollar Tree. Either way, it's working just perfect. To add those transfer, I just grab the scraper. I'm releasing the header sheet, and now with the rest of the fall leaves from Dollar Tree, I'm working on the bottom and on the side with it. And what I like about those Dollar Tree transfers, there is some dots that they're coming in this sheet, and they look so perfect around this book cover. Like originally this book was made with all those dots and leaves for fall. Beautiful with that orange background. Such a beautiful look, and it's not gonna cost us a lot to do this makeover. Now that I'm done with all those transfers, I just grabbed the brush, and with the leftover of my gold, I went around the edges and add that golden shimmer to it. On top of it, I'm gonna be adding this Mackenzie Childs ribbon. I just added one strip, and I made a simple 2-loop bow, and I'm gonna glue it on the cover of this book, and we have a nice, beautiful, whimsical tabletop for our decor. I'm also, to seal it and to distress it more, I'm using this black wax from DIY and just distressing it around those leaves and around the side of the book. And also I seal those transfers with clear DIY wax. And that's it for this makeover. It's ready to be displayed. My friend Nikki asked me if I can recreate this topiary and give her an idea how can she recreate this. Originally they're asking for this topiary for $1,900. Can you believe this? So what I did is I went to my local Dollar Tree and I was walking through and I saw those shredded paper in different colors. You can choose any color you like. Some wooden dowels and some foam balls. If you like those topiaries to be larger, you need to go to Hobby Lobby and grab larger foam balls, but I think those foam balls will work perfect. I found some glass vase and let's see what I can do. So from all those 3 packages, I just select one ball to get those different sizes, and I think it will do its job. And as I'm opening my shredded paper, and of course I selected the orange color because I'm creating in fall color. And Nikki, you can select the pink color if you like it in pink color. Dollar Tree is selling those shredded paper in pink color. And I just grab a couple of pieces and I start gluing them. I fold them in half and I'm just randomly adding just a little dot of a glue, and I'm gonna be gluing them. Before that, I painted my foam balls with the orange paint so that white foam will not pick through it. And now I am continuing adding those shredded paper. This is such an easy process. You just grab a couple of those lines because they're so tiny. You need to add 4 to 5 lines of those shredded paper and just folding them in half and just adding a glue and covering this whole foam ball with them. This is such an easy process, except you need some time to add all those. So I did the first ball. This is how it looks. I really like it. And then I'm gonna repeat the same step on my middle size foam ball. I'm gonna cover it, and then I did the other third ball, and that's how they look. Now that they're all covered, I'm gonna be adding them in those wooden dowels that we grabbed from Dollar Tree. If you have one larger wooden dowel like this, it's gonna do its job. Either way, it's gonna work. All you need to do is just add these dowels through the foam ball. And first you're gonna start with the larger one. I grabbed my glass vase to see how long this dowel needs to be for the first ball. Then for the second dowel, I'm just going on top of it, and then I'm gonna add the second sphere, and then at the end we're gonna add the third one. It was so easy to do this. You just go through it and add the sphere in the middle part and the third one as well, and divide them equally. As you can see, now that I add them how I want it to be, I remove the dowels just to glue this top knob to it. I added some glue to make it stable. And now that we get them in the right position, I'm just gonna trim off those fuzzies with the scissors. Super easy, and that part is done. I'm also gonna be adding some golden stripes, and I grab one of my metallic paint marker, and I'm just adding random stripes between those spheres just to make it whimsical and a little bit more like the original look. Next, I'm gonna be working on this glass vase. I cover it with a Whisper Wheat chalk paint from Folk Art. First, I cover it with a brush, and then to add some texture, I just dab it with my foam brush. I let it dry, and now with my tiny paintbrush with the truffle chalk paint, I'm going over and creating random stripes. You can be creative. You don't need to add some stripes. You can add some dots, some polka dots, or you can just leave it plain like it is. Just add some golden shimmer to distress it. I mean, the sky is the limit. You can be creative and add any kind of design on this vase, just like so. Those stripes remind me of the new Mackenzie Childs mocha stripes decorations for fall. Now that my stripes are dry, I'm going around the edges with my golden metallic marker and creating stripes. I'm going on top of the edges, I'm going on the bottom, and we have a perfect Mackenzie Child inspired vase and look so high end. Now that it's all nice and dry, I'm just adding this floral foam. I'm cutting it with my spatula just enough to fit for the inside part of the vase. I'm also gonna glue that part to make it stable, and then I'm gonna add the wooden dowel in the middle part. I'm gonna cover it with some Spanish moss, and that's it. To add more details to our decorations today, I grabbed those two metal Dollar Tree candlesticks. I paint them with the truffle paint. I'm going over with this metallic paint marker that I got through those crevices that these candlesticks have, and I'm just wiping it off with the wipes. I just want that golden shimmer to it, and I'm also gonna distress them with the golden paint from Dollar Tree, so we can have that antique, rustic, golden look, vintage look to it. And as you can see, after I covered them, I went over with a wet wipe, and we added some orange candles, and here you go. Another amazing inspiration is this Mackenzie Child mocha stripe pumpkin that they're selling for $139, but we don't want to break a bank, so I'm just using these white pumpkins, porcelain pumpkins from Dollar Tree, and I'm gonna be creating stripes with a hazelnut and truffle chalk paint. I mix those paints together, and with my tiny brush I'm going around the pumpkin ribs and creating random stripes. Super quick and easy and beautiful, neutral, natural vibe decor for this fall. Now that the stripes are done and dry, I'm going over with the same golden marker paint that I've been using throughout my creations today, and I'm covering those leaves and the stem with it. And also I'm gonna go around the edges of the stripes just to create that beautiful gold shimmer and gold shadows to it. And with adding that golden stripes around the edge, you're making this pumpkin such a high-end beautiful look, similar like the Mackenzie Childs are selling for those $139, and our pumpkin cost us only $1.25. Also, I went with this golden paint throughout the leaves and around the edges, around the ribs. I added some random velvet 2-loop bow. You can leave it plain as you like, and that's it for this look. Have you noticed the Dollar Tree always having the best looking frames and signs for Halloween? And I don't do Halloween, I want to do a fall section. I remove that skeleton and that paper. And after I remove all those edges on this oval shape size, I'm going to be adding this faux leather fabric that I got in my stash. You can always add those peel and stick tiles the Dollar Tree selling just to give that beautiful high-end look to it. Now that I cut off my fabric in an oval shape, I'm gonna be gluing it to my sign. For this one, I added all adhesive glue from Dollar Tree, and then I went over with my foam sponge brush and make sure I got equal amount of glue around this sign to make it nice and sturdy. And then we're gonna add the fabric on top of it. And to make it nice and smooth, I'm also using my fingers and my decoupage brayer, and I'm gonna let it dry for a little bit. I created a small bouquet with these mini sunflowers and greeneries from Dollar Tree. I also have some dry picks in my stash. Those are real picks, dry picks. You can always be creative and create any kind of bouquet. And just creating this little bouquet, tie it on the bottom with the twine, and then we're gonna glue it in the middle part of my sign, and you have a perfect look for your wall decor. I created a beautiful 2-loop simple bow with this Harley Quinn ribbon from Dollar Tree. I glue it on the bottom of bouquet. If we want to hang this sign, also I created a hanger with a twine, and to make it sturdy, I just added a glue and the leftover of my bow that I made. And also around the edges, I created a frame with these faux brown pearls that I got in my stash, and that's it. Another amazing find at Dollar Tree are those signs. So what I did is I just removed their covers just like that with the spatula. And to cover them, I'm adding a Mod Podge and then cut off the same shape with the same faux leather fabric that I was using on my previous project. And I covered those signs with it. I am distressing one of these covers with a Whisper Wheat chalk paint and going over with that paint, and after I distress it, I'm just gonna remove the excess with a wet wipe. I just need that rustic look that is picking through this fabric. And for the second one, I'm using a terracotta paint, covering it all and then removing the excess with a wipe as well. And then we're gonna put those two covers back on our signs. I am adding the one with the terracotta back to the orange stripe cover, just like so, and smoothing it out with the brayer. I created another cute bouquet with these beautiful fall picks from Dollar Tree, and on the bottom I created a Harley Quinn bow. And then for my second stripe sign, I am adding the cover back, and I created another bouquet with those sunflowers with pumpkins and added one beautiful bow with this Mackenzie Childs ribbon, and you have a perfect look that it sure doesn't look very cheap. It looks such a high-end look, and is perfect for your vignette or for your outdoor, or you can put it anywhere you like. Except those white stripes didn't match with my bow, so what I did is I just add a little bit of golden shimmer with this golden metallic pen that I've been using, and I'm just wiping off the excess with the wipe, and you have a rustic, beautiful stripes looks for this sign. Another beautiful find at Dollar Tree are those beautiful topiary signs that they remind me of Mackenzie Child signs. So what I did is I just add some wooden sticks on the back of them so I can add them into my garden, and they'll be just perfect for our fall outdoor decor. Another great find at Dollar Tree are those orange porcelain plates and bowls, and we can create a perfect pedestal platters with it. We don't need to do anything, as you can see, and you have a beautiful high-end look that you can add cupcakes or anything as you like. Before I glue them together, I decided in the middle part to add one of those IOD transfer flowers, and I am gonna go with the sunflowers, just adding it in the middle part of my plate, and it's just a perfect look for fall as a decorative piece in our kitchen, or as I mentioned, we can add some cupcakes on it, whatever you like. To seal this sunflower, I just rub it off with a clear DIY wax, and now I'm just gluing the ball and the plate together with this all adhesive from Dollar Tree, and that's it. Not even 5 minutes and you have a new look for your kitchen decoration for this fall. I'm going to create another pedestal platter, this time with these clear glass plates. After I clean it well with the alcohol, on the back part, I'm gonna be adding some colors to it with these pressed flowers and some leaves that I got in my stash. I will be adding them with a Mod Podge on the back part of my glass platter. You can be creative, you can add some stickers on the back of it, or you can add some pressed flowers like I am doing, and you're gonna have a new look for it. So I added a matte finish Mod Podge, and slowly I'm going over and randomly adding some leaves and flowers and making it all whimsical and cohesive and perfect for our fall decorations in our kitchen. Now that I cover it all, I'm gonna cover the flowers on top with a matte finish Mod Podge. I also decided to add those leaves around the edges of this plate, and then I'm gonna let it completely dry. Now that it's dry, this is how it looks. You can leave it like it is, but I decided to use this beautiful paint from Dixie Belle. It's called Acadia. This green shade, I just love this color, and I went over my plate and covered it all on the back part. And also for my glass ball, I am doing the same thing, covering it with the same Dixie Belle paint in a color Acadia. I'm gonna let them dry, and now that they're dry, I'm gonna glue them together. But before that, of course, I gotta add some extra. I decided to add those green branches transfers from Iron Orchid Design, and I think with adding those leaves on the bottom part of my ball, we have a perfect unique pedestal planter that we can add any kind of designs or cupcakes, whatever you like, and put it in the corners of our kitchens. You can always be creative. As I mentioned, you can leave those glass balls just as they are with adding just some flowers and leaves. You can paint them like I did. You can add some ribbon transfers like I did. You're never gonna go wrong. You're gonna create a beautiful, unique item, and it's gonna look just stunning. To add those leaves on the bottom on the ball, I just cut them in half to be easier to do the transfer as you were watching me. And now I'm gonna also glue them all together. I also, off camera, I sealed those leaves on the bottom, ribbon transfer leaves, with the clear DIY wax. And that's it. You have a beautiful new look. I'm creating another Mackenzie Child inspired signs with these mocha stripes, and this time I will be using this wooden acorn cutout from Dollar Tree, and I am creating stripes with the hazelnut and a truffle paint going over and covering the stripes with them. Now, after the stripes are dry, I'm going over the edges with the golden paint and creating that frame around each stripe and distressing them on the white part stripes as well, and having that rustic, antique Mackenzie Child's finish to it. Now that my sign is all finished, for embellishment, I'm going to be adding those mini acorns that I created some stripe with a golden metallic finish, and I'm going to be adding them on the sign with the twine. I also added this bow that I created with the Mackenzie Child ribbon and this khaki color ribbon that I got in my stash. And that's it. Not even 5 minutes and you have a beautiful decor for your wall for this coming fall. Also, as a hanger, I'm adding this velvet tiny ribbon that I got just to give that high-end look. I'm gonna tie it on the back of it, and this sign is ready. For my other sign, I'm gonna be using these half wooden beads that I added on my painter's tape. It will be easier for me to paint them this way, and I'm gonna paint those beads with the same color, that hazelnut and truffle mix, until I cover the whole beads with that paint. Until those beads get dry, I'm gonna be adding them on these maple leaf wood cutout. Before that, I'm adding that golden effect with just this gold paint, adding just the lines and then wiping it off with a wet wipe. And after that, I'm gonna paint the stem with the hazelnut finish, and now I'm gonna create a polka dots with these half beads that I painted. So I'm randomly adding them in this wood cutout, and you have a perfect, beautiful, another Mackenzie Child's inspired decor. Why not? Now that I glue my beads as a hanger, I'm using the same velvet ribbon that I use on my acorn sign. I use the same type of bow with this khaki ribbon and Mackenzie Child ribbon, and also I'm adding acorns. On this time I add one stripe acorn that I made and one with the orange finish with the twine, and that's it. Also, to add shadows between those ribs on my maple leaf, I'm going over with the leftover paint of my hazelnut and truffle paint just to distress them and bring that rustic look to it, and that's it. And this is how they look. Store, I pick up some items. I will recreate it. I got this planter painted in white and I will decoupage it. I'm adding a Mod Podge with my sponge brush, not a lot, just a little bit, to cover it with this napkin, checkerboard napkin from Mackenzie Child's barn sale that I purchased this summer, and I'm laying it over the planter slowly because this napkin is so thin. I don't want to rip it off, and with my fingers I'm just trying to smooth it out as much as I can. I'm going first for the front part to cover this planter, and now with my decoupage brayer I'm rolling over to smooth it out and to get rid of the bubbles and the wrinkles. Now for the second part I'm repeating the same step, adding a Mod Podge and laying it over the napkin. Super quick and easy and very inexpensive look. I'm finishing up on the back part of this planter, and then since this napkin is not large enough to cover this planter, I will cut over portion of it after I cut off all the excess, and not even few minutes and you have a brand new look for this planter. And everybody will be in love with these distinctive designs characterized by the vibrant colors and overlaying patterns. That's what the Mackenzie Childs are known for, and since they're very expensive, we're gonna make some inspired beautiful creations that they won't break a bank. Now that my planter is all covered with this napkin, I just grab a parchment paper and with my mini press I'm going over and making this planter more smoother, no wrinkles, no bubbles. It looks like originally this planter was made like this. I also seal it with a matte finish Mod Podge. And now for the floral part, I picked up 4 picks of these moms from Dollar Tree. With my snipping tools, I'm cutting off all those floral picks, and next I will be using one of those foam balls from Dollar Tree, and I am filling it up with all those moms until the whole sphere is filled with these flowers. Before I add the last picks of my flowers, I'm also adding those 2 wood sticks, also from Dollar Tree, inside of this foam ball. I'm adding a little bit of glue around it just to make it more sturdy, and now I'm finishing off with my last 2 pieces of my floral. Now to decorate it and to add the topiary inside of the planter, I add one of my floral foams, and in the middle part I'm adding those wooden sticks. I'm also staining them with antique wax with a wipe, going over to get that rustic natural look. For the inside part, you can also add some Spanish moss, but I think this grass faux looked very interesting. And also around my wooden sticks, I went over with one piece of twine. I just twisted around the wooden sticks, and I made 4 simple loop bow with this beautiful ribbon that I also got from Mackenzie Childs. I am gluing it under the floral sphere, and that's it. I'm starting off with this oval tray from Dollar Tree, covering it with a white paint. When it's dry, I am adding another courtly check Mackenzie Childs napkin, and I am adding just a little amount of Mod Podge with my sponge brush. I'm adding 1/2 to cover it. I don't want to add at once because you can create more wrinkles and bubbles, but doing it by layers like this, it's gonna make your decoupage more nicer and smoother. Now I'm finishing off the second part with the same step of a Mod Podge and covering the rest of the plate with the napkins. To smooth it more out, I'm using my decoupage brayer, and now when that part is nice and covered, I'm flipping over my tray so I can see where the edges finish, and with the scissors I'm cutting off all those edges. I'm cutting off another part of the napkin so I can finish off the tray. And the beauty of this napkin is that it's all full of patterns, that it's not gonna be noticeable that you add 2 pieces of napkins in this tray. So I'm just adding a Mod Podge, and I'm adding the same pattern from the first napkin and finishing off the rest of the tray. Now that the tray is all covered, I'm grabbing my parchment paper, and with my mini press, I'm going over around the edges and the frame to make it nice and smooth. After that, I'm adding a matte finish Mod Podge to seal it, and this beautiful DIY is almost done because we forgot one little detail. On the edges, we're gonna add this famous golden marker from Dollar Tree. I am using 4 square wood planks from Dollar Tree, and I will make them into a box. I'm adding a wood glue on the edges and gluing them all together in a square shape. I'm adding the last wooden plank to finish off this piece, and for the bottom part I'm adding portion of the sign that I cut off. I don't need to paint it because this part is not gonna be noticeable, and I'm adding a glue and gluing it on the bottom part of the box. For legs, I am using these wooden mini blocks and adding one on each corner on my wooden box. And this is how it looks so far. Now the magical checkerboard napkin, I'm cutting it in half and adding a decoupage. I didn't paint it because I like that wooden color picked through this napkin, and it's gonna look just perfect, almost similar like the original look. If you're not a lover of a checkerboard design, you can add any napkin you prefer and you can recreate the designs that I made today, and they're gonna look equally beautiful and very inexpensive and so high-end. But checkerboard designs are so hot and trendy this year that I am really loving everything that I made in this Mackenzie Child series, and I see lots of you are enjoying my series as well, and thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Now I'm finishing off the decoupage. For the rest of the box, I'm cutting off the excess with my knife, and also I'm sealing it with my Mod Podge, and this part is done. To create the topiary, I grabbed this random greenery that I got in my stash for ages. I'm just cutting off the picks and I'm creating like a greenery ball into this foam ball. Before that, I'm also adding one wooden stick on the bottom part of my phone. I am also adding some glue to make it more sturdy and finishing to cover the rest of the foam ball. Super quick and easy. You can find greenery spheres like this in any crafting stores, but they're a bit pricey. And as you're watching me, you can create your own beautiful floral greenery spheres yourself with Dollar Tree items. Now that my sphere is done, I'm adding my wood stick in the middle part of the box. Previously, I added some floral foam and I add the topiary in it. Now we're gonna create some embellishment. I got this beautiful mold in my stash and I'm creating some cute design with my dry clay. I need total of 4 large and 8 small borders. I paint them in a Dixie Belle in a color Acadia. I love this beautiful shade of green, and now I'm gonna glue them in the middle part of each side of my box. I'm adding a wood glue and gluing those embellishments to it. Around the edges, I'm adding a golden line on each corner and on the legs. And with this, we have a beautiful Mackenzie Child inspired topiary look. I have those beautiful mini golden knobs that I will be adding on top of my box to make it similar. I also fill it up with the Spanish moss, and to finish up the embellishment, I also made more trims with my clay. I painted with the Acadia paint, and I'm adding 2 of each on each side of the box. I am also adding some jewels. I got those jewels from Amazon. The link will be in my description box. They were like $8 for so many pieces of them. And I'm adding the green beautiful jewel in the middle part and 2 ruby red jewels on each side on the box. To create the beaded topiary that is on top of my green sphere, I am using wooden large knob, 1 wooden bead that is already white with stripes, and 1 pearl that I painted with this golden marker. I'm also adding a golden shade with a marker on my white wooden bead, and now on the large knob I painted white, and with my black marker I'm going over and creating stripes to make it cohesive and almost similar like the original look. When I'm done with the stripes, the bottom part I'm painting it with a golden marker, and also I'm gonna just distress it with a golden marker around the white frame edges, and I'm gonna wipe it off with a baby wipe, and I am gluing those three beads together and creating like a mini beaded topiary. I'm adding this topiary on top of the green sphere, and this amazing inspiration is done. Thing that caught my eye was this mom and greenery mix candle centerpiece, and it's a little bit pricey, $69. So I went to my local Dollar Tree, and it's full with fall florals, and I grabbed some picks, and let's see if we can recreate this Kirkland's piece. For the base, I will be using these round wooden Dollar Tree signs. I will be removing the twine hanger and the tag, and since this sign is a little bit thinner, I will be adding a thicker surface as well. So I grabbed my foam board, and I'm gonna cut off the same round shape as my wooden round flag is, and I'm gonna glue it on top of my sign. So I grabbed my wooden glue, and with the brush I'm going over the wooden plaque and adding the foam board on top of it. And now we have a nice thicker base that we can add these tumbling tower blocks, and I'm gonna add a glue and glue them on the side of this round base. To speed up the gluing on the corner of each block, I will be also adding a hot glue and making this base nice and sturdy. I used almost the whole package of these blocks, and it's super quick and easy process. You just add the glue and gluing until the whole round surface is filled with this, and we're gonna make them in a shape of a planter so we can add our fall greeneries to it. And as I was walking through the stores, fall's traditional colors are making a comeback with the rich shades of burnt orange, fairy red, golden yellow, and dark green. It's gonna be part of this year fall decor, and I cannot wait to create more decorations with these colors. And as you can see, I'm finishing up my lantern. It was so nice and easy to do it. After that, I'm gonna give it a one good coat with this weathered wood DIY paint outside and inside on my tumbling block towers. Then I'm gonna let it dry, and it's time to decorate it. I really love this faded brown look to it. As you can see, it's still drying. After that, I'm gonna coat it with a clear wax, and now it's time to decorate it. I'm adding this foam that I got in my stash. Also, Dollar Tree is selling some foams, flower foams, then you can add, but this one was perfect. I just cut it off in the shape of the circle, and in the middle part I will be adding the glass holder. You can find glass holders like this at Dollar Tree. And now I cut off my picks, fall picks, and randomly I'm adding them in my centerpiece. I also added 2 mom flowers to give the identical look like the original one, and randomly I'm adding some flowers, berries, until my whole planter is filled with it. And with adding more picks, it make it more fuller, more richer, and more high-end look. Now that the planter is full with all those fall picks, I'm filling the inside of the foam with the Spanish moss to cover that green color from the foam. And that's it. You have quick and easy and inexpensive, beautiful look for our upcoming fall season. For the middle part, I'm gonna be adding one of those ivory candles from Dollar Tree, and our creation is done. If you have a tons of fall decor and items in your crafting stash to recreate this beautiful item, is not gonna cost anything at all. If you don't have any fall decor in your home, you can go to Dollar Tree and purchase items like this for up to $15, and that is a huge saving compared to the original look at Kirkland's for $69.99. Another amazing find at Kirkland's is this fall door wreath, but it's a bit pricey. We're gonna make our own version with this grape wine wreath that I have in my stash. You can find grape wine wreaths at Dollar Tree as well. So I just picked up some random picks that I got in my stash and mixed them together with the Dollar Tree mix, and we're gonna make identical look like the original one. So I grabbed those 2 picks on the side and I'm connecting them with one yellow Chanel stem, and I'm adding a couple of picks of these pampas picks from Dollar Tree, adding them in between and making my wreath richer, adding some random other picks as well, some berries, orange dry picks and leaves, and some pumpkins at the end. And whatever you like, you can always be creative. And the beautiness of those picks is you don't need to add any glue. You just go through those picks and just sliding them in, and they're gonna stay nice and sturdy. And then for the middle part, I'm gonna be adding 3 orange pumpkins, also from Dollar Tree. In between, I'm gonna add more leaves and some berries, and that's it. Not even 5 to 10 minutes and you have a brand new look for fall. Another amazing look, and it's trending, is this pumpkin centerpiece, and it's a bit pricey at Kirkland's. You can use pumpkin in any color, and I'm showing you Dollar Tree selling those pumpkins for $3, so you can grab any color of those and make your centerpiece for way less than that. So I grab a cream one, and I'm gonna cut off the stem on top with my utility knife, just that part. And this one, it's not even 5 minutes, and you have a brand new look set up as a centerpiece for your coffee table or your dining room or in your kitchen breakfast bar. It's super quick and easy to do this, especially if you have those large pumpkins in your crafting stash and those fall picks from last year. Just grab a couple of them, cut off one of your large foam pumpkins and add fall picks to it, and you have a beautiful new look for this year for fall decor. So I just grabbed random fall picks from my stash. I added these ivory leaves as well, yellow, orange, whatever. I thought it's gonna look perfect with my pumpkin, and we're gonna have an identical look like the original for way less than $39. And it was so easy to do because the base on the bottom is foam, so you just add those picks inside of this pumpkin, and beautiful, easy decor. I'm in love with this topiary, but the price is $149. Can you believe it? And we can make it for way less than that. I have this planter I purchased last year from Hobby Lobby for like $4 and some change. And what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna paint it with a primer so I can add a different color to it. So I'm adding a primer first. I'm gonna let it dry, and then when it's dry, I'm gonna cover it with a truffle Waverly chalk paint. I love this color. I'm gonna give it a one good coat, and you don't need to do anything else for this little cute planter vase. If you don't have vase like that, you can create one of those with one of those Dollar Tree glasses and the candle holders on the bottom, and it's gonna be similar, and you're gonna have a perfect base for your topiary. I'm going to paint 3 foam pumpkins in 3 different sizes, 2 orange shades and 1 in linen from Folkart and Waverly. And after I paint them, I'm also on the top, I decided to go with this green pumpkin because I couldn't find the cream one. But then at the end, at the final reveal, you're gonna see I changed that green one with the cream one that I found in my other bin from fall crafting stash that I have. So to make it more similar, I'm just gonna switch that green pumpkin with the cream one, and I'm just gonna layering them on top of each to make it in a shape of the topiary. I just add a little bit of hot Gorilla Glue, not too much because I want to change this in the future. And then I'm adding more glue on top of the larger pumpkin and make them sturdy and be ready for decoration. Now that I set up my 4 pumpkins, even if I mentioned that that green one will be changed later on, I'm gonna be adding in between some berries in different colors. You can find berries like this and leaves at Dollar Tree. And I will be adding them in between the pumpkins to make it similar like the original. You can always be creative. You can add some leaf garlands in between. You can also add some moss. I mean, the sky is the limit and everybody have a different taste and different look. You can even add those pumpkins in different color. Whatever you like, be creative and you never gonna go wrong with it. So I'm just adding some berries in between those 4 pumpkins, and then after I add those berries, I'm gonna be adding a cream and orange leaves that I cut off from my picks, and at the end, yellow berry garland and rolling it around the pumpkins just to make it similar like the original look at Kirkland's. Using 4 wood blocks, 2 different sizes, and first I'm gonna paint them with a whiskering width folk art chalk paint. Now that they're dry, I will be distressing them with a truffle chalk paint around the edges. If you like more clean look, you don't need to give that rustic finish like I will be adding with the distressing. You can leave those blocks simple and plain as they are. Everybody have a different taste, and today I decided to bring you some rustic traditional farmhouse look for fall season, and it's not gonna cost us too much. With Dollar Tree items you can make a very high end, and today I will show you you don't need to break a bank to make a high-end home decor. With just a Dollar Tree items, you can make a beautiful, very expensive look for your homes. Now that my wood blocks are distressed, I will be adding wood glue on the edges of my 2 larger blocks, and on top I will be adding the smaller block. Just like so, and we'll be creating a perfect tabletop. I saw similar tabletops like this at the high-end store. I believe I saw one last year at a Home Goods or a Kirkland, so I decided this year to make one with Dollar Tree wood blocks, and it's gonna look super cute. I am gluing the last block at the end, and under the last block I added another block until it get glued. And now on top of it, I got these wooden letters in my stash. You can find letters like this at Dollar Tree. I got mine for a long time. I paint them in a black color, and now I'm adding them in the middle part of my blocks that it says fall. I will be gluing them with a wood glue, and now it's time to accessorize my tabletop and turning this beautiful top into pumpkins, sets of pumpkins. I made 4 simple bows from this green ribbon, stitching ribbon from Dollar Tree. I'm also gonna be using these wood stems, also from Dollar Tree, and we're gonna glue those stems on top of each block, and I will be gluing ribbon on top of each block as well. Make it beautiful, whimsical, and perfect for fall. I'm also adding some leaves next to the stem along with the Spanish moss, and this project is done. I'm using another wooden block from Dollar Tree. This time I will be decoupaging it with this pumpkin for sale rice sheet decoupage paper from Decoupage Central, and I think it's gonna be just the perfect coverage for this wooden block. So I cut off a part of this sheet. I'm adding a Mod Podge, and I'm smoothly adding my pumpkin for sale sheet to it. To make it more smoother, I grabbed my decoupage brayer and I'm going over to make sure that there's no wrinkles and bubbles. Also with the parchment paper and mini press, I went over my sign and we have a perfect high-end look. For the X's on the edges, I just add a lighter to remove them, and with this I'm giving the rustic look on the edges of my block. I am also using one of those smaller crates from Dollar Tree, and also I will be using wooden spools that I got in my stash. I got a bag full of those wooden spools from a thrift store for just a few cents, and to rise up my crate I am just adding them on the bottom part on the crate with the wood glue, and we're gonna glue all these together with my wood plaque, and we're gonna have a perfect like a cart pumpkin for sale for our fall season. Now that I rise up the crate, I am adding the sign on top of the crate, and I will be gluing it with a wood glue. To make it more sturdy, I grab one of those popsicle stick, and I'm showing you on the back I will be adding 2 or 3 pieces of these wood sticks. After I glue them, I start decorating them. I added just a little bit of Spanish moss, and I will be adding a lot of those colorful pumpkins to make it cohesive with the picture on my block. This year's fall decor offerings in store feature a warm and inviting palette of traditional colors, including vibrant oranges, rich greens, earthy browns, and rustic tones, and is just perfect for creating a cozy atmosphere in your home. And that's what I'm going with all those beautiful DIYs that I'm making today. So now after I added the pumpkins, I made a simple velvet bow and I glue it in the middle part of my crate. And also I grabbed this beautiful bow from Dollar Tree. I'm just cutting off the tails and I'm gonna glue it on top of my sign. Now that I added everything, I thought that the sides of the crate and the sign are too light, so I decided to tone them down with this DIY weathered wood paint. And I'm just gonna go with my sponge brush, and after that I'm just gonna wipe it off with baby wipes just to tone down my crate and the sides of the sign with the spools as well, so I can bring this beautiful look to more rusticy and farmhousey look. For the next project, I will be using the back part of this tabletop, and I am painting the frame and the inside part just on the edges with this green Dixie Belle mineral paint. All I need is the edges and the framing part, and I will be adding these wooden cutouts from Dollar Tree. And after I remove the tag, price tag, and the handle, I am staining it with antique wax so I can get that rustic fall look. With a baby wipe, I'm going around these cutouts. I'm gonna leave it on the side to let it dry. And for the inside part of this tabletop, I will be adding this peel and stick, also from Dollar Tree. And to know where I need to cut this peel and stick, I'm just gonna trace it with my hands. I'm adding it inside of this sign, and with my hands I'm going over and trace it over before I cut it off. So that's how I won't miss a part of it. So now with the scissors, I'm just cutting the part that I need, and smoothly I will be adding it in the inside part of my tabletop. Also, with my mini cutting knife, I went over the edges to get rid of the excess from this peel and stick, and that part is done. And I love that beautiful green color with this background. It's just perfect with what we're gonna be adding next. Now that my tree is dry, I will be gluing it on top of my frame, just like that. So I just add a little bit of hot glue, and then on the edges of the branches I will be adding it on the framing. Now that I got everything on its place, I will be adding these beautiful colorful leaves that I got in my stash, and I think it's gonna be perfect just to add all these leaves on each branch of this tree. To add more natural elements to my tabletop, I decided to add some Spanish moss on the bottom, and mushroom, pine cone, pumpkin. And with this, we made this beautiful tabletop as a harvest theme, perfect for the fall season. Another quick and easy DIY, I got this half round wood plank, and I will be decoupaging these leaves inside of it. So I'm tracing it off with my fingers, and then I will be cutting off the part that I need to add it inside of this plank. I have also purchased this decoupage sheet from Decoupage Central. They have such a beautiful collection just for a couple of dollars, $2-3 a piece, and you're gonna have a perfect home decor look. So after I cut it off, I am adding a Mod Podge and I'm decoupaging it inside of this half round plank. To seal it, I also added a Mod Podge on top of it, and now I will be adding another crate from Dollar Tree. I also added another set of wooden spools to rise it up, and now I will be gluing this half round plank on top of my crate the same way like I did for my pumpkin crate as well. So I'm just adding a wood glue and adding that sign on top of it, and then also on the back I will be gluing another popsicle stick piece to make it nice and sturdy. To make my crate cart cohesive with the leaf picture that we added on the sign, I will be adding a floral foam, and also I cut off a couple of branches of these colorful Dollar Tree leaves, and I will be filling this crate with them. And I create a perfect, cozy, and seasonal atmosphere for fall decor. I wanted to add something in front of my crate, and I will be using these apothecary labels from IOD, and I'm gonna be adding one of those labels, and I will be adding words leaves in front of this crate. So first I'm using this green ink pad from Dollar Tree just to add some shade, and after that I will be adding a black ink so we can have two shades with this design that we added in front of the crate. And since there is only one E, I will be adding that second E after I transfer the leaf, as you can see, and now I'm adding more ink and adding it next to it and making this perfect word for this crate. Now that I add the word leaves, I'm gonna be adding the label on top of those leaves, and I will be repeating the same step with the black ink pad. I'm also distressing the edges on the crate and the spools just to give that rustic finish look to this crate. Dollar Tree have these perfect beaded pumpkins for $1.25 and some amazing book stacks, so I grabbed a couple of them, and just to add some cute embellishment to them, you're already making them high-end. I just made a two simple bow with this orange ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I'm gluing it in front of my pumpkin, and inside I added some green candles, and voila, you have a perfect look that nobody's gonna know that you got it from Dollar Tree. Also, for the book stack, I removed the burlap ribbon that it came with, and I created a simple 2-loop bow with this velvet ribbon that I got in my stash, and that's it. I didn't do anything with this book stack because I love the colors. I love that happy pumpkin season. It's just perfect. The plaid print on the back. I didn't want it to do anything. It's just the perfect tabletop for our vignette for this fall next to those beaded pumpkin. And for $3.75, you got amazing high-end look. Another amazing look is just grab any kind of tabletops that you have and just remove the paper that it came with. You sprinkle it with the water just to remove that paper. You don't even need to. You can paint that, but I just wanted nice and smooth surface. So I just spritz it with the water, and I'm gonna let it stand on the side until it's soaked. And then with the spatula from Dollar Tree, I'm just removing the paper. I did it 2 times. First I removed the header sheet, and then I'm gonna repeat the same step until the whole wooden surface is nice and clear, just like so. And then I painted with a white paint to cover it. And after I paint it all and I let it dry, I'm gonna be adding another beautiful decoupage sheet from Decoupage Central. I love those prints, just perfect for a cozy traditional look for our home decor. And look at all those beautiful pumpkins, so simple. I just added a matte finish Mod Podge, and with my sponge brush I'm going over, covering my whole sign with it. And then I'm gonna add my sheet next to it, and it's beautiful, nice and smooth, no wrinkles and bubbles. It looks like this sign came originally just like so from a high-end store such as Hobby Lobby, Kirkland's, Home Goods, Pottery Barn, name it, and you made it yourself. To even smooth it more out and make it more original, I just grab a parchment paper, and then with my mini press I went over, and that's it. Not even 5 minutes and you have a perfect look. Also, I'm sealing it with matte finish Mod Podge, and that's it for this quick and easy makeover. As we wrap up this video, I want to leave you with some encouragement from the Bible verse, Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. And my darlings, when I always say, stay tuned for my next video where I will be showing you some new amazing content. If you have any questions or topics you'd like to discuss, leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more fall DIYs. And until next time, blessings. Bye-bye!